Welcome to a MainelyDIY.com video. I think it's really nice if you sign your cards. So I am going to show you how to use your deboss tool to sign your cards. So I am going to bring in a card image. So I'm hitting images and it says search. And I know there's one that I like. Okay, so I typed rounded corners and I'm getting all kinds of things in my screen. So I'm going to come over here to type, hit on my plus sign, and I'm going to say cards. So I've clicked on it and see how it gets this little green box around it. And I'm going to go ahead and insert my image. And there it is. That comes up to a good standard size card. Now, I want to move this piece, but if I go to move it, everything goes together, and that's because it's grouped. So I need to ungroup it. So come back here, and I am going to click on the piece that I want, and then I'm going to right-click and hit the ungroup button. Okay, and it deselected it, so I'm going to select it again, and now I can move that piece out of my way. So this is going to be the front of my card, and this will be the back of my card. So I want to put my signature on this back piece. So I'm going to come over here and push text, and I am going to choose my font that I want. So pick out the font I want, and then I come down here and I'm just going to start typing. Come over here, hit the alignment button. So created by Mainely DIY. Then I'm going to take that and I'm going to drag it up here, and you can see it's way too big. So I am going to hit this little arrow, resize it. Okay, so now it gets hard to pick it over the back of the card. So if you come up over here, you can select it here, and then you can drag it a little easier, or maybe not. So I'm using the arrow keys on my keyboard. That can help me get it where I want. Okay. So I'm going to say that looks good to me. I still got it on cut. I want to change that. You can draw it on, but we're going to deboss that on. If I come over to make it, doesn't have my signature on it like I wanted to, so I'll hit cancel. So what I need to do is I need to attach these two things. So I'm highlighting both of them. You can just kind of left click and drag your mouse over everything, and that's a quick way to select them. And you see here they're grayed out. Those are the selected ones. And then I'll come down here to the bottom where it says attach, and I'm going to click that paper clip, and then I've attached it. Now if I go to make it, there it is, all connected. So I'm going to go ahead and make that. So I'm going to go ahead and hit continue. Okay, I'm going to browse for my materials, and I am going to set it on a medium weight cardstock. Lighter down, medium cardstock, that's what I like to use, and then I'm hitting the done button. Okay, so it's telling me to load my mat and edit my tools. I don't want to use a scoring wheel. I'm going to use my scoring stylus, and I'm going to hit apply. And you'll see down here now I've got my stylus, my deboss tip, and then it says my additional one is a fine point blade. So I've loaded my mat, so I'm going to hit the go button on my Cricut machine. Okay, so now it tells me to change to the fine point blades. Okay, so when I finish cutting my pieces, I decide whether I'm happy with my design. I am. So I am going to come and I'm going to hit my save button, and I am going to put a project name on it and something that I use a lot, so I can just have that as my save project, and I'll start from that point. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. So this time I'm going to take the same card, but I'm going to come over here and select just my text, and instead of deboss, I'm going to have it drawer on there. So we will do that. So I'll go ahead and make that. Okay, so I am going to do one more trial and then we'll compare what we have. I'm clicking on the text and I'm going to change this time. I'm going to change it to score and go ahead and make it. Okay. So this is the card that we did the deboss with the debossing tip. Came out really quite nice. This is the one I drew. I used the drawing mode, and I chose an ink that didn't have too much of a stark contrast with the background. You can see it clearly, but if I used black, it would have really shown the difference. And as you see, when you're looking at the text, see how there's a gap there? If that bothers you, you could color it in, maybe choose a different text design. But you don't really notice it that much when you pull away from it a little bit. One, we used the stylus, and I was surprised at how well this came out. Here's a comparison of the debossed and the stylus in the same picture. The debossed one with the debossed tip is a little bit deeper than the stylus, so it may be a little bit more clear, and you know, it really pushed it down. You can feel it, and makes a nice subtle signature. The stylus tip also did a good job. You can see more features in the, maybe not as smooth as the deboss. So if you want it more defined, use the debossing tip. If you don't have a debossing tip, or maybe you want it a little bit more subtle, go with the stylus. Both work well. So there we have all three different designs. Make sure you sign the back of your artwork.